Let's talk about cosplay drama and how to stay positive. Don't cosplay, and it could upset you. In the cosplay community, there is a lot of drama. Now, I think it's the same in any community that you're involved in. There'll be a lot of drama. The cosplay community, we just notice it because that's the one that we are involved in and intertwined in. Firstly, I don't want this to be a negative video. Cosplay is an amazing hobby, being fun, creative, and connecting people from all over the world with similar interests. However, there can often be cosplay drama. This drama can often stem from things such as gatekeepers, wanting to be the only cosplayer of that character at that event and not wanting any other of those characters at that event. They are the character, the one of that character, the representation of that character for their country, the representation of that character for that con. Basically just up themselves. But it can also come down a lot to jealousy. Jealous of what someone's able to achieve with an aesthetic, where they look more like the character they're trying to mimic, or jealousy over the amount of followers or likes someone has, even jealousy over someone who has skills to do something that someone else isn't yet able to do themselves. There's also a lot of entitlement, and this can vary. Maybe one person may get a little bit upset and cause drama because they have skills to make something from scratch. There's a lot of effort put into it, and they don't really get much appreciation online, likes, follows, so on. But then someone else can simply get a yellow bikini and call it a Pikachu cosplay and get loads of appreciation. However, they're just utilising the assets they have available to them, and people are liking and commenting on that because that's just the way of the world. That's their demographic of who's following them. Guys are thirsty. Or people who make cosplays getting jealous of the clout, likes, follows, and comments and appreciation that someone who has bought a cosplay is getting, because often these people don't feel that the person who's bought a cosplay deserves that appreciation compared to someone who's put more effort in by making it. Now, we're not going into a debate of what's worthy of more likes, what's worthy of more appreciation. Likes don't matter anyway. But let's look how to deal with cosplay and con drama and stay positive, and don't let anyone ruin your cosplay experience, whether they try to demotivate you while you're at home crafting, when you post online, or when you're at a convention or photo shoot. So there's one surefire way that you can avoid any cosplay con drama. Don't cosplay. Or just don't interact with anyone in the cosplay community. Or if you do a cosplay, keep it private in your own room and don't let anyone see it, because as soon as someone sees it, they'll judge it. And they could make a comment and it could upset you. But part of the fun of cosplay is going to a con, hanging out with people who have similar interests, similar cosplays related to that character, talking about it, loving it, and just being in that costume around that fandom. And it's always a warm feeling when you get a compliment. A compliment on your cosplay can be great, whether it's someone saying how awesome it is, how you look like you've literally jumped off of the page or off the screen or whatever you've based it off of, people liking a certain part of it and saying, how did you make that? That's so cool, I want to do that myself. Or where did you get it? Everyone loves a compliment. But then there's also those who offer constructive criticism, and it is rarely received in the way it was intended. Now, most of the people who follow you online will see your work, how you got there, and will follow you because they like and appreciate your content. They'll see all of your profile where you post about how you made the cosplay or where you got it, your love for the character, your build up to that picture that you've posted, and the whole kind of story behind it. But eventually you're going to get a comment from someone about accuracy. Commenting something like, well, actually the character that you're cosplaying has a much darker shade of red than you've got on your cosplay there. Or commenting on your appearance, saying that your face doesn't look enough like the character, even if your costume is to a T, looks like it's literally from the film or whatever it's based off of. They're going to comment saying your face doesn't look like the actors, your face doesn't look like the characters. I mean, I absolutely love practical props, and if you've seen my other videos, for my Titans Robin armour, I made a practical push and click arm mechanism, which they use camera trickery in the show to make it look like it's push and click, one comes out, another reloads. It's just camera trickery. But I made a semi-practical one, and I still got comments from people saying, it's not actually that accurate because when you pull yours out, you just have one and then there's a space in there, but in the show, another reloads back into it and there isn't a pin on the back, so just leave me alone. You're eventually going to get these comments though. I mean, have you ever Googled your username and found it on Reddit? You'll have tons of people with no idea on making costumes or props, how it practically works and fits together, but just have knowledge of, say, the live action where it's a lot of CGI and touching up, or a comic book where physics don't really matter and the artist can draw humans in shapes that humans don't go into. These people will comment saying that your cosplay doesn't look enough like these unrealistic goals. You'll see comments saying, oh, they're too fat, they're too thin, that's not accurate, they missed that bit, not muscular enough, too muscular for this character, and many more. And as you can see the variation there of saying too muscular or not muscular enough, it's in the eye of the beholder. And sadly, eventually, if you post online, people will see your costume, they will judge it, and you will get these comments as you grow your following. And no matter what you do, you cannot change the opinions of others. These people often stumble across this one picture or video that you've posted out of context, just seeing that one post. Not as a follower seeing all of your progress up to this point. These people may just be a fan of the source material, which is near impossible to match, especially if it's a comic book which doesn't obey the laws of physics, or even not know the source material and just not like the picture they're seeing of your cosplay. Now, most of your comments on Facebook, on Instagram, on other social media platforms should be from friends and family and people who are following you, and they're following you because they like your content, mostly, unless you have any creepy stalkers. These people who are following you want to see your content, they'll see the time, effort and love put into the costume you've made, your love for the character, and appreciate the whole story behind it. Unlike these other people who might just see this one post out of context. Now, there's one way that you can kind of limit people's judgment, and that is to kind of show your train of thought behind everything. Instead of just a finished product based off of a concept art, show the concept art it's based off of. Show the progress pictures, how you got to where you are, and kind of a timeline. Give more information on how long you worked on it, how much money went into it, what parts of the build were challenging and how did you overcome them. Any specific parts you're proud of, or how much you love the character and why they mean so much to you. Kind of give people something to talk about. You'll often get nicer comments from people who are more excited about the cosplay because you've just kind of shown them how excited you are and were for it and the whole kind of process. People will comment and be like, wow, I've had that exact same issue myself. Thanks for posting how you resolved that challenge. I'm going to do that myself with my cosplay. Thanks for the tip. Or wow, you put that many hours in. Or wow, that's a really good technique. Or yeah, I completely love that character too for the same reasons. And kind of invite people with reasons to discuss and comment and say nice things with further information. People only judge what they see. And if all they see is that one post out of context of you in a cosplay, they won't know if you made it yourself, how you made it yourself, if you bought it, if you even like the character, or if you're just cosplaying them for clout. I see. They only judge on the information that is directly in front of them. Also, try to put a negative comment into perspective. If you get 100 nice comments and one negative comment, try to compare that. Try to focus on the positive ones you've got and how much they outweigh the negative ones. I mean, have you ever worked in hospitality, seen any TripAdvisor reviews? People are often more keen to leave negative feedback or say something if they're upset because they are angry, and that's when they're more emotive and want to say something negative. Whereas people don't really go out of their way to leave a positive review in the way they do for a negative review. Try to think of your comments in the same way. People are going out of their way to say something nice, as well as when people go out of their way to say something mean. But think about the amount of nice ones there are compared to the mean one. But if you do get a negative comment, don't react, don't start fights, don't feed the discussion. I have a saying where if you can't lift it up, all it's going to do is pull you down. And in effect, that kind of means whatever actions you take, if you're not going to fix that issue and lift it up, all it's going to do is make you more negative and kind of get you involved in that issue, and it's not going to help your life. If you can do something that will help it, do it. If you take any actions that's not going to improve that thing's situation, but all it's going to do is drag you down, don't get involved. Don't act on it. Don't do it. Whilst it might suck that that situation is there being negative, if you cannot impact that to not be negative and to bring it up to be positive, to have any sort of impact, all you're going to do is feed your time and energy into that, make yourself feel depressed, sad, and overall just very negative by investing time in that. And if you've not fixed it in any sort of way, then all you've done is impact yourself and brought negativity into your life. That's off track a little bit anyway, but the same sort of way with negative comments. You could even try replying in a nice way and kill them with kindness. Take the high road. This can often give just as much satisfaction if you're sarcastic like me, but it's probably best to try and not be sarcastic or passive aggressive. Also, don't be short-sighted and narrow-minded and view every kind of possible negative comment as negative. People may genuinely be naive and not realise what they're saying, or they're genuinely trying to help you. Some cultures will see it as a favour to point out any flaws to help you improve on it. To them, they're helping you by saying, oh, do this or that, or fix this or that, or adjust this. They're trying to be helpful. They don't intend for it to be a negative comment and for you to take it in a negative way. They may genuinely be trying to help. Also, a big issue with typing words online that's got me into a lot of trouble in the past as well is whichever way it's intended to be delivered, it can often be read in a completely different way. That's because online, even with the help of emojis, You can never get the phonetic tone of the way someone's saying something, the tone they're saying it, paralinguistic features, facial expressions, so you could really read it in any sort of different way. Say for example, you could be saying, wow, that's such a nice cosplay, I'd love to see it in red. Instead, it could be read as, wow, nice cosplay, I'd love to see it in red. I can't really think of many examples, but whichever way it's delivered may be read in a completely different way. So try to keep your mind open and read it in any possible tone that it could be, and try to focus on the most positive version that it could have been intended to be delivered. And a kind of warning to help avoid negative comments as much as possible is try to be respectful. Whilst cosplay is for everyone, all shapes, sizes, skin colours, quality of costume, whether you buy it, whether you make it, whether it looks anything like the character or not, try to be respectful, and that goes in many ways. So first of all, be respectful to the source material. Understand that if you do something that is against the way the character would do, it will likely upset fans of that character because you're representing them to people who don't know that character in a certain way. And I can understand how that would upset people who are a fan of that character. Also, if there are any cultural things about said character, make sure that you're respectful to that. I've known black cosplayers cosplay Iron Man. I've also known white cosplayers cosplay Black Panther. Overall, the consensus I've had from the black community is that, yeah, you can cosplay Black Panther as long as you're not doing blackface, as long as you're not doing an impression of the voice. However, I've also seen other comments online saying that it's racist to cosplay said character. I'm not going to go into that about what's right and what's wrong. I think it's pretty clear that obviously you shouldn't do blackface. And if there's cultural things that don't match your heritage and culture, then it's best to err on the side of caution. And just always try to be as respectful as possible and see it as the possible worst case scenario of what could someone from said culture see it as in the worst case scenario. If you really want to cosplay something that might be a little bit risky, but you still believe that it's morally and ethically okay, but you could perceive how someone on the other end of the world with a completely cultural and different background to you could see it and be a little bit offended, ideally not do it, but if you do it, be aware that if you do make it public instead of a private thing, that's inviting people to see it, judge it, and make comments. Cosplay is for everyone, no matter your age, gender, skin colour, height, or body type. Cosplay the way that you want, and if you want to be accurate, do it for you. If you want to change it up, do it. Just enjoy it. Just make sure to be respectful and keep in mind that nobody on this earth has the exact same opinion, views, upbringing, history as you do, and you're not responsible for the version of you that someone's created in their mind. In conclusion, cosplay is a great hobby. It has a great community. You can meet people from all over the world with similar interests to you and fandom instead of just who's geographically close to you based on where your parents decided to live and that's where you were brought up. You can meet people who you have genuine things in common with from all over the world. Your friends will likely support you, but as soon as your cosplay is public, you're open to more people seeing it, which means more people judging it and more likely to get negative comments. But also positive ones, and meet new people. So focus on the positive comments, focus on the positive people of the community and friends that you can make through it, and enjoy the character and cosplay that you love. So I hope this helps you in ways to avoid cosplay and con drama, other ways to perceive things, how to deal with it, and how to stay positive and happy. If you have any weird or interesting con drama stories, leave a comment because I'd love to hear about them. Whether it was just a simple misunderstanding or whatever really, I'd like to know. As always, like, comment, subscribe, do all of the buttons below. Look at my other platforms. Thanks for watching.